No, it's just northern Minnesota, right on the border there.
3, 2, 1.
So there's, soot on the docks and very, very problematic, of course, and more so concerning for the residents up there and just,
David, do you feel a little thunder down under when he says Minnesota? It's so cute. I love it.
Gavin, please stop hitting on our guests. And this is Gaytriarchs. So my son comes up to me and it's me and my husband, and he goes, "Do you customize?" And we said, What do you mean? And he goes, "Do you customize?" I said, "Okay, I heard what you said, but what do you mean?" He goes, "Customize." I said, "I know what customize. I know the word. It's customize what? What are you talking about?" He goes, "Never mind." I said, no, hold on. What are you fucking talking about? And he goes, like he's speaking to me like I'm just a fucking idiot. He goes,
because English is not your first language. Mm-hmm.
Do you customize? And at this point, we're in the car. I'm about ready to drive the car off the road because I am in rage. I was like, I hear the words you're saying. That doesn't fucking make any sense.
This is the closest to David from Schitt's Creek I've ever heard you.
It was so like you just folded in. You fold the cheese in.
Yes.
And I was like, and then my husband is trying to like be the calm one. He's like, "Honey, customize usually refers to a noun. Like customize what? Customize a car? Customize
you married
whatever."
up.
I totally married up. And he's at his wit's end. My son is at the fucking idiocracy that is sitting in the front of the car. And he just keeps going, never mind. And this is a new one for me because as we know, I have discovered about myself that I go from 0 to 100 as far as anger is concerned so quickly now for a lot of things. This is a new category, is when your son isn't making sense, but he's acting as if you're the fucking idiot. I still don't know what he means, by the way.
You never got to the bottom of it. He never,
literally no idea.
Even with Brian's logical, calm maturity, you still never got to the bottom.
No. So we basically we just all dropped it because we were all fucking pissed. Every one of us was mad at each other. And so I still don't know what he wanted to know, what we customized. No idea.
Well, thank you for that story that had literally no point or ending or button. But let me top that. Let me top you with another one, okay?
Sure.
Speaking of complete irrationality of children, thinking that we're the idiots, etc. I was in Spain recently.
We get
ding,
it.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. I got the little Spain counter going.
And I have been wanting to tell this story for so long that we were in this teeny town called Ujue, I think is how you pronounce it, Ujue with an accent. And it was a microscopic medieval town. And it had as a big ass church as every European town does. And but in the church, at that point, my daughter was hangry and it was hot and we were just about to have lunch, but the restaurant hadn't opened yet, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, well, let's just go through this church. And she's like, I'm not going through another church. I'm like, well, this is what you do in Europe. You complain to your parents that you're going to too many churches. Mm-hmm. So we go into church and it's old and Catholic and, from the 11th century. And you're like, oh, wow, this is, big, dark, cold, which is nice because it's so hot outside. And then a little local, I wouldn't say it wasn't the church's choir because they were all under 40, frankly. A choir of like 6 people came in and they started rehearsing. And it was definitely Catholic music. I'm not Catholic, but I know Catholic music when I hear it. It was this old haunting hymnal music, right? And it was echoing in all the right ways that these, physics majors from 1037 knew how to make the acoustics in these churches perfect. And so it was this haunting, amazing experience of being like, wow, you're hearing the real deal the way it's supposed to be done. And I'm texting my daughter who is outside the church because it's near the Wi-Fi. So I knew that she was on her phone. I'm like, get in here. No. Get in here now. No. Get in here now. This is an amazing experience. I'm not. And she's like, I'm not religious. I'm like, I'm not trying to make you religious. This is a cultural experience. And I had to go outside that church. My partner was like, Todd said, just don't worry about it. And I'm like, no. This is a once in a lifetime experience. So I marched my ass out of that church and I said, get your goddamn ass into this church right fucking now. She put her phone down and she walked into the church. And she sat and she listened for a little while. And then they were done. And we were like, okay, we can go now. We felt like we were imposing on their rehearsal anyway, because we were the only ones in the church. Though they, said, no, you're fine. I even made a little recording of it. It was amazing. She walks out and she goes, was that really worth it, Dad? Really? To say fucking to me about a church? And yes, it was, because she will remember that moment forever. She will remember that moment forever.
The moment of you yelling at her
outside of church to get
also,
her
I
ass in
love
there.
that you shat on my story about customize, and then you launch into a story about I yelled at my daughter outside of a. Come on, these are both great stories. Stop shitting on my stories. Listen, I feel like there's a theme. If you're a listener of the show, you know that Gavin will force life moments on his children. He will force these things. But like, I can understand how infuriating it would be to be like, we are literally in a 1,000-year-old Spanish cathedral and you're texting your friends on WhatsApp.
Yeah,
I'll
you're
fucking
complaining,
kill you.
probably complaining about me on Snapchat. And yeah. Well, speaking of being a terrible parent, actually, maybe I've gained some points and yet lost some as well. We currently are a house of kittens right now, David.
Oh,
we have.
I want a kitten.
Well, guess what? I have 4 of them for you. You can take 4.
Oh.
So my daughter has been saying for a while now that she wants to be a veterinarian. I have to say, I don't know that we've grown out of the stage of all children want to be a veterinarian because they think they're just going to play with kittens all day long or puppies all day long, right? But she is pretty committed to science.
And I'd have to put down people's dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Put down a golden retriever that's been in a family for 14 years. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's the part that we forget about.
Yeah.
But so she so for the last 9 months or so, about 9 months, she's actually trailed a retired veterinarian who's sort of taken her under her wing, and she's sat in on some spayings and neuterings and has had an ongoing commitment to this retired veterinarian who does a lot of work on stray cats in, I guess there's like a colony of cats near us. I don't understand entirely. Just you wait, David. Eventually you'll have a 14-year-old girl who doesn't give you all the details either, and other adults are taking her into surgery. And you're like, what's going on? Oh, well, I guess I'll just go with it. You don't seem to be coming back drunk. So that's good, right? So anyway, this veterinarian has been encouraging her to foster cats. And we're like, whoa, wait. This is
That's how they get you.
This is where you bring the parents into the conversation, and you don't seed the 14-year-old with the notion that she can also foster cats. Because this is unfair. This is unfair. So I have inserted myself into some of these texts. And many months ago, this woman said, listen, it's just like they all lure you in, it's like, it's just temporary. You're just doing the fun part. We do all the marketing for you. We will do all the posting on social media to get to, adopt these cats out. And I have since found, I've met 2 other people who know this veterinarian who are like, oh yeah, we did that for her too. We had 2 cats for 18 years. So
we all, it's weirdly, we all know the game, but still we fall for it. It's like, it's not gay if I suck you. It's like, we know that game and we all kind of know those rules, but yet.
Well, so we've been talking about this many times, and it was like before our spring break when we were away, we had a meltdown because we weren't taking the cats, and there was kind of a meltdown from the veterinarian too, who's like, no, it's fine. You can totally take them. We'll send them away for a week, but then you can have them after. We're like, no, this doesn't make any sense. We're not doing this right now, but maybe we will down the line. And Todd and I were both like, we'll do it. It's fine. And it's a matter of responsibility, right? For our daughter who's supposedly in charge, right? But here's the rub. When it finally happened, and she called me, excuse me, my daughter called me and said, do I have the final say so on this? Can we do it? I said yes, but I also followed up with, but this is not my responsibility. You are taking care of these cats. I will help within reason, but you are taking care. You can hear in my tone of voice right away, I had a laundry list of all of the shit that she needed to do to merit this. And then she got upset and she's like, why are you mad about this? And I had to say to myself, right, why am I mad about this? I'm not mad,
You're
but
not
I needed
mad.
to lay down the law.
You're pre-mad because you are anticipating the fact that she is going to say, I'll do everything.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like tale as old as time, right? I want a dog, I'll take care of it, I'll walk it, and then you don't, and then you take. So you're pre-mad at her, and she hasn't even gotten to the point yet where she's failed you. Yeah.
Because I know exactly what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. She's been pretty good, but I'll leave the story at just that. I did have to think, why I needed to make my point that this is her responsibility. But it did come out angry. And I wish I hadn't done that, because then I was shitting on her joy and her excitement. And I do feel bad about that. But I don't know, 14 years into it, I'm like, I think that I know the tone of voice that she'll actually listen to. Yeah, right. No, she doesn't. She doesn't listen to anything I say, right? But I don't know. Can you see yourself doing that?
No,
what would you do?
No, it's not a what would you do. We already have a what would you do for today.
Yeah.
No, I totally get what you're saying. I'm experiencing it a little bit on my end, but the idea of like, I am old enough. I mean, we can see your bags from here. I am old enough to know with 92% accuracy where this will go. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't. So do I avoid the experience knowing where it's going to go, but that's failing her because she needs this experience? And it's just like this like, I know this is going to fail, but you do need to fail through this or be given a chance, or else what are we doing?
But also, I robbed her a little bit of the unbridled joy. Now, she's forgotten about this. I know that this is not something that's going to send her to therapy. There's plenty of me yelling at her outside of a church to get her ass in there to listen to the beautiful music. She'll remember that one. But, I mean, we have had the unbridled joy of sitting around and having kittens crawl all over us, and that has been very fun. I'm not going to lie. I mean, but I wish I hadn't shat on her joy there, but I needed to lay down the law because I'm a parent, right? So
I get that.
She and her brother get to have unbridled joy all the time about it. And Todd and I both needed to say, okay, but
I get that. I mean, like, again, mine is way stupider than yours, but like, they'll be like, oh, I want to glue things together. Can we glue these things together? And my head goes, you're going to get tired of this halfway through. Yeah. You're going to abandon it. There'll be glue on the floor. I don't want to do that. So I put the kibosh on the gluing things before it even starts. So I'm also shitting on their joy or their whatever, because I'm trying to anticipate all the things. But there is a part, I think what it is we just need to know that like part of parenting is you have to prepay for this shit. You have to go, it's going to suck and I'm going to have to take care of cats. That is part of this process. I'm going to have to clean glue sticks off the carpet. And that is part of childhood that I need to just accept.
Speaking of prepaying, excellent segue. Do you do allowance yet?
We do, sort of. We do. Both of my kids have one small job, and only my son gets paid for it because patriarchy. But he takes the trash out. He like rolls the cans out to the curb and back twice a week, and he gets paid $1 for that.
Nice.
And so he really loves that. And he will this guy is a drug kingpin. He will come up to be like, where's my $3? You owe me $3. He will shake you. But yeah, so that's what he gets. But he doesn't get like a general allowance.
Yeah, right. Well, here's my dad hack of the week. I came across this on Instagram. We're terrible at allowance, just terrible, because I don't want to automate, like, we're cashless, right? And my kids they think cash is just paper and metal. And they think, what would I do with this? Because they do both have phones, unfortunately. And they're so used to tapping with everything just from their Apple Pay, which is tied entirely to money that we give them. And they do have chores. And technically, they're supposed to have a certain amount. They do their chores actually fairly well. I mean, we have definitely beaten it into them. They're like, okay, fine. This is not a battle they fight anymore. But I haven't automatically giving them $15 a week or whatever. That even sounds outrageous, but I don't know. It's 2026. It's not 1986 anymore. Anyway, point being, I came across an Instagram feed about a woman who said, my mom was unhinged about certain things, but this is something she did really well. She would have a ledger by the door somewhere in the house that everybody could see. And she would say that this girl back in the day, in the 90s or something, got $40 a week, which sounded like a lot. But instead of nagging her daughter constantly to do the chores to get the money, instead she prepaid the $40 at the beginning of the week on the ledger. And then she would subtract. It sounds like whatever pissed the mom off for the rest of the week.
She would just pull that $5 off, and she'd be like, "Good luck, it's 35 now."
If she didn't clean the toilet, it was minus $3, which was her chore. If she didn't do her homework on time or whatever, if the daughter made the mom late ever, it was minus $2, and it would just be a running ledger all week long. And also, a hilarious one was if she said yeah, I'm like, wow, Nazi mom. If she said yeah instead of yes, minus $1. So by the end of the week, sometimes she would only get $3. But she said the mom didn't have to nag the entire time. It was all out there in the public to see, and she could earn stuff back too. She could, do, I don't know, be an awesome kid for a day, and she got $3 back or something like that. You know what I mean? So I thought that was an interesting idea of having a ledger out in the open for everybody to see. And then it's less nagging. And this will probably be another thing that I'm going to experiment with and completely forget about until I bring this up as a dad hack in a year, and I forgot that I already did it. Okay.
We did something like this when my son was very young, and he was really going through it like around 3. And we had 3 things a day. It was like treat, play video games. It was like whatever, and then we would just take it, like take the star off the thing whenever he would do things. But man, I get like why it would feel easier, but also it makes me feel like this is fucking evil, like prison guard, where every time I walk up to the board,
Big Brother watching you.
Exactly, and I felt like a little piece of shit. But this is a good idea, I think.
I mean, it's just something to consider.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of things that are good to consider, there is, guess what? No good news in the week of the week. But I have dug and scrimped, and I found a couple of new things of note. HBO Max apparently has a new show about a gay dad in Poland called Proud, and the guy is wicked hot.
Yep.
And apparently he's not a dad. I think he, has to adopt kids for his sister.
His sister dies, and he adopts his sister's kid.
But it sounds like it's just like a nice combination of abs and the parenting life that we do not live at all. So it's complete fantasy.
By the way, HBO Max, I've been trying to pitch my gay dad's comedy show to you for so long. I pitched to Netflix. I pitched to Warner Brothers. HBO Max will not get back to us. Hey, bitch. Mine is a broad comedy, Tina Fey style, 3 gay dad families. It's like Modern Family, but everyone's gay. It's fucking hilarious. If anybody out there knows somebody at HBO Max who will let me pitch to them, let's do this. It's funny. It's come on. Like,
it's all the
making
things.
Gay dad shit. Make the funny broad comedy version of this.
It's about time. And I'm sure that you can have plenty of abs, but hopefully mostly dad bods too. Yeah. But come on, HBO, get on it. Also, a lot of really terrible things are going on in a lot of the country with trans people, and in particular these dumbass bathroom bans. But I love it. Don't you love it when those who are oppressed pivot creatively and show them what's up? Apparently, there's an asterisk to the Idaho trans bathroom ban, and that you can use single-use bathrooms in alignment with your gender. And so some really creative people got together and created a map to show Idahoans where the bathrooms are that are safe for trans people. And I'm sure it's not an extensive map. I have looked at it. It's not, all over the state, but it's it shows that there are people out there countering and working hard to make life easier for people who are just trying to get by. So
I just think there's a quote from Christmas Vacation where she says, in reference to Clark Griswold covering his house with lights, what a silly waste of resources this was. I think about that for these kind of things. Like, we have to make maps where trans people can take dumps. Like if we all had all taken that brain power and time and put it towards something constructive, real. it just mattered. It just fucking baffles me the amount of time we waste on stupid bullshit. But we have to, because people are. I get it. Yeah,
that's even wasted thoughts. Just even
I know
criticizing it because it's such a waste. But anyway, you know what else is a waste of time and effort?
What?
Our top 3 list.
Gaytriarchs top 3 list. 3, 2, 1.
So this is my list. We have, what are the top 3 fruits? Now, I'm suspicious on how we're all going to take this. I went a little off the deep end, but it's just what came to my mind first. The second I thought of top 3 fruits, this is the number one is what popped into my head, so I decided to go with the theme. All right.
Okay.
Number 3, Nathan Lane in the birdcage. I mean, fruit for a gay man is very narrow, but it's a very specific kind of gay man. This doesn't just mean effeminate. This just doesn't mean gay. This just doesn't mean acting like it is fruit. Like a fruit is a very, very specific kind. Nathan Lane in the birdcage.
Yeah.
Definitely one of those.
I approve of this. Yes.
Number 2, a little further back in the day, but the fruitiest, Little Richard. I fucking love Little Richard. If you want to look up and see what a fruit does on stage, this is it. He is fantastic. And number 1, the number 1 fruitiest man of all time, and somebody who will forever have a permanent place in my heart, Leslie Jordan. That man is the definition of fruit, but I don't think I've ever laughed harder than any scene he was in with Megan Mullally on Will and Grace. That man was a genius. He was taken way too soon. Yeah. And he is my number 1 fruit. What about
his entire social media being post-COVID?
Hey,
right?
y'all, what y'all doing?
The most uplifting,
it's the best,
positive,
best,
entertaining, humorous. Who could not love him? He should be on the podcast we were talking about earlier that Peppermint was on.
Yeah.
Too bad he can't be on. Don't give them a platform. Never mind. Fuck them. Okay. Number 3 for me, mangoes.
Solid choice.
Could eat mangoes all day long. I don't mind the mess. I enjoy the scoring of the thing. So you flip it open and it looks like an aardvark or whatever. I love I love it when mangoes are even stuck in my teeth and you have to work on them for so long. Mangoes, absolutely. Number 2, Fruity Pebbles. I'm a big Fruit Loops fan, but Fruity Pebbles might be just a titch higher because it's not quite such an overwhelming fruitiness. So Fruity Pebbles are, my favorite summertime. My mom didn't let me eat sugary cereals growing up, except in the summertime, like once a week. I mean, you want to talk about serious control freak. No wonder
that's where you get it.
This fruit didn't fall far from the tree.
But I loved Fruity Pebbles. The 2 knocks on Fruity Pebbles, you have to eat it fast because that shit gets soggy so quickly. And 2, about 13 minutes after you ate 2 bowls of Fruity Pebbles, there was this like ringing in your mouth of like all of the fake chemicals that were in your mouth, but totally worth it. That was a great cereal.
And number 1, I want you to know, I wrote this down before we got started.
Leslie Jordan.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
When
Gavin,
you said
this is a big deal.
When you said this last week, the very first thing that came to mind for me
Literally
was
the first
Jordan.
thing was Leslie Jordan because not only is he the definition of fruit, but I don't think there's a single person that ever saw him on Instagram or on Will and Grace or all the various shows he's on and never just was like, I fucking love that tiny little man.
Yeah. He made fruitiness a celebration for all the rest of us. So
yeah. All right. What's next week?
Next week, I want to know what your top 3 colors are.
Ooh, good one, Gabe.
Why, thanks.
Ew, why did I say Gabe? Ew. Oh, God.
David, our next guest is a super dad because, oh my God, he has 4 kids. So obviously super dad. Yeah. A super dad of volunteerism and Americana, from biking to hiking to outdoor scouting. He's as homegrown as Midwestern apple pie and used to be in a conventional sense when he was married to a woman. But now he's happily partnered with a man who, I have it on good authority, has been nominated to be a DILF of Gaytriarchs.
Nice.
And he has a lot to say about supporting the closeted daddies out there to live their best life loud and proud. Please welcome to Gaytriarchs, Mitch Hallan. Mitch, welcome.
Hi, Mitch.
Howdy, good morning.
All right, so how have your kids driven you bonkers already today?
All right, so there's 4 boys, as you know, and they are very early risers. So, and when I say early, like 5:30 a.m., 5:45
inhumane.
And the oldest, the 9-year-old, is very loud about it. So he just springs out of bed, just loud as can be, doesn't give a fuck, just whatever, no courtesy. And the younger one is more sly about it. So the joke between my partner Matt and I is always, we will be in bed there, and all of a sudden you just feel like a presence. You just get this sense. And the 4-year-old is at the foot of the bed. You can kind of sometimes hear him breathing. It's quite creepy.
Yes, just staring at you.
Exactly. And we're just like, okay, don't open your eye, don't move, because as soon as you do, there's like an audible gasp from him, and he takes it as like, all right, I can run, and he jumps into bed, comes up. It's actually very endearing. So I shouldn't say it drives me nuts, because it is freaking cute. Like, so this morning, there he is, just breathing away, and you say, all right, come in, bud. And he gets so excited, he runs and leaps, and sometimes he doesn't even make it the first try, so he has to back up again and really spring his body up and crawl up. But
just like a senior dog. I mean, listen, it can be both. It can be, this is my entire life experience, is like, it can be both a cute, wonderful, adorable experience. And also you can be like, please leave me the fuck alone. I want to sleep until 6 a.m.
At least minimum. See a 6. Just let me see a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's perfect, because it's the oldest and the youngest that are up early, and then they each have a brother that shares a room with them. So a bunkmate or whatever you want to call it. And those two like to sleep in, but inevitably they're woken up and then begrudgingly get out and say, we're always up at 6 a.m., breakfast early. And that's the way it is.
I can't believe you have 4 boys and then you are 2 guys. There's 6 penises in that house. What does your toilet look like? Because all I can imagine is like, how much pee goes in the toilet in your house?
We are house shopping currently, and a urinal is on the list for sure.
Oh, that's smart. That's really smart.
There's going to be a bathroom remodel in a basement we're picturing, and a urinal will make its way in. So
I have one time seen a private home with a urinal on the wall, and it was a very smart move. Yeah.
It's weird looking, but it makes all the sense in the world. Yeah.
That is a whole lot of testosterone for sure. All right, so you've got 4 boys, and I mean, let's just cut to it. You were married to a woman, and you this is a new world for you that has not been all that long, right? We're just talking a couple of years now, right?
Correct. Yep.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, I was married out of undergrad. Met someone, and we were great partners. It was a very fulfilling relationship. I always knew, or always kind of questioned my sexuality, but various reasons. I think it really stemmed from high school. I went to a very small school here in Minnesota. I grew up in New York, but my parents moved back in middle school. Started at this school in north central Minnesota, and for whatever reason, my classmates, I think I ran cross country and did stuff like that were the gay things, and so I was called gay almost daily.
Wait, cross country is gay? I didn't know. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, compared to football, I guess so. Apparently, in some small-minded viewpoints, but yeah.
And the shorts. I mean, maybe it's
that's true. The shorts, which we appreciate, by the way. I want to publicly state we appreciate those shorts. But yes,
I was going to say shorts have come back in. I mean,
they have.
At Costco, I think you get noticed as long as you have the legs for them. It's all right.
Yes, we are here for the short shorts for sure. But the cross country shorts and a certain lack of support, it will definitely, I suppose, make it gay. I didn't realize cross country was gay. Anyway, please continue, please.
Yeah, so just married, did all the things, and I went to undergrad, found a girlfriend, all my buddies, same, and life was good. Like, I didn't really question, or just it was what it was, and I was happy and everything. But yet I still wondered and kind of knew, I had this. And I remember one time in upper 20s, my spouse at the time and we were on vacation, and I remember just saying, I need to talk to her about this. Wow. And so I just opened it up. We were walking. It was an evening. I just remember saying, hey, I've always had these feelings. It's very, confusing. And the conversation really derailed, where she's like, yeah, I think everyone has those feelings. I had a girlfriend in high school, and figured, and it was just it migrated different than what I thought. And then it was just kind of shut down, and it never went further. And then we started having kids. So 3 boys, had them. And then later on in the marriage, just really, we both realized that it was very much a partnership. We joked often that we ran a suburban household. It was a business partnership. And really after the fact, we both, I think, have discovered, that, love was missing, like true romantic, intimate love. And we just didn't know any better. And it got to a point where, it was just too much. And I was very much sick of wondering. And we had a friend that they lost a child. That was a very unexpected accident, freak accident. And I remember being in the hospital, just experiencing that raw emotional pain and just the unbearable grief that these parents had. Never had experienced anything like that in my life. And just thinking, I don't want to be on my deathbed, just picturing my grandkids there if I have them and saying, be authentic or be yourself, and having not done that myself. And so it just was like a Band-Aid ripping off of, I need to figure this out, because up until age 38, I had never touched a man or had never had that experience where I just didn't know. And I really hoped that it was going to be what the hell was I thinking? This isn't right. But instead it was oh shit, this is it. And it just went from there very quick.
Wow. And so I'm curious, like you said, you mentioned it to your wife at the time, that you had these attractions, and you said you kind of always felt it. But what did you do with those feelings? Like, I guess this is a little granular, but I am fascinated because I think every gay man has been at least slightly closeted, whether they were for like 10 minutes before they came out at 13 or 38. But what did you do with them? Did you, if I may ask, did you fantasize about men? Did you think about them? Did you kind of check out guys who were shirtless, or were you able to kind of shut it down in a way?
Sure. No, I definitely tried to suppress it. And it's very messed up in a way of where, you would inevitably notice like, there's a very good looking person, or like, I enjoy working out, going to the gym, and you would see people. And I would just always have that immediate shame and that guilt of like, what the hell are you doing? You can't do that, or that isn't normal, or just all these different things. And it's crazy because I grew up in a household where my parents are fantastic. Like, I have a gay aunt that her and her wife have been together since the 90s. I have a gay cousin that he's been with his partner since, forever, decades. And it was not a stigma or anything. It was just, we didn't really talk about it, but it was also very much like, people are people, that is fine. And that's normal. And so it wasn't that it was like from a personal side, but I would say that my former spouse, in marrying into that family, they are highly religious, highly conservative, all the things that you can picture. And I just really internalized a lot of messaging over a decade plus that really honestly fucked me up quite a bit, where it was hard.
Mainly from the in-laws. You knew that your family would actually kind of shrug, hopefully, but her family would not be.
Correct. Yes. And it was very much, and truthfully, I spent more time with her family just because my family was further away, and just, it was just very much, you can't think this way. You can't it's unacceptable. And so I just very much, and that's where I think it was just this buildup that just kept happening until it finally was like, this is enough. I can't handle it. And it just was like ripping the Band-Aid off. I mean, you hear about different people's coming out, or I was even talking about this with my partner, Matt, and that for myself, it was very quick. Like, my former spouse, we talked about it. A week later, my parents came back from a trip in the Caribbean, told them. They were immediately like, yep, you guys just need to get divorced and you need to move on with your life. And it was just, the snowball went rolling fast.
Yeah. I think there's something that happens. This happened with me, and I'm sure this is the case with you. I came out at 20, which I think is late, but obviously not as late as some people. But I remember at the time feeling like I've painted myself into a corner of this life I've built that is a straight life. And I don't have the power. I don't have the bravery to undo it all, whether it be shame or there's just too many things. There'd be too many people to tell. It's just easier just to kind of stay the course. I remember having those feelings, and I was kind of outed by accident. And I'm actually thankful of it now, because I remember the time feeling like, I think I might do this forever. Because I just don't feel like I felt the walls closing in on me, but I didn't feel like I had the power to stop it in a weird way. And it sounds like you did. You said that you just kind of were like, I just need to kind of raw dog this.
Yeah. And that's what I learned is it's very interesting where there's a lot of people in that. So when I realized it, I was very intentional in trying to figure out, I just thought like an enigma that there's no other dads out in the suburbs like this, or that it's just, I'm the only one. And frankly,
there
I'm
are
not specialist. Yes.
I've slept with most of them, if I'm being totally honest. If you've ever been on Sniffies, it's all suburban straight dads. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. And so I was very intentional in finding other dads and meeting them for coffee or going for walks and just figuring out like, how did you know, or what did you do? And what I was finding out is It wasn't a lot because I was very careful about who I would meet with and just, have these conversations because, of course, it's very scary and all the different things. But a lot of them, just the pain, a lot of them had just kind of accepted and were living in this state of, okay, this is who I am and I have this side of me, but then I also am this family man and this, and have been living that way for years. And for me, it was just, I could not do that. Like, it was tearing me apart.
That seems really burdensome for sure. I mean, It must be so much more fun to just live your truth, huh? And not have to hide, right?
And run cross country freely. Run from your
free
problems,
ball,
Mitch.
Free ball, and know that you are showing your gams. Come on.
And leer at the hot men at the gym. I mean, welcome to the team, Mitch.
Thank you. Yeah, and I don't know why I've been so fortunate, but in meeting my partner, Matt, and going on through life with him now, it's been amazing. And the best way, when we had another couple over for dinner actually a week ago, and we were just talking about different things. And I just feel so fortunate that every day that I wake up, I look over at him in bed and I just have this feeling of awe and excitement and just so much joy. And just, I don't know what I did to deserve this, but I'm very, very fortunate in terms of life and the fulfillment and having found some. And that was the other piece, is I was very worried of, how am I going to find a guy that's like me, or that we connect on all the different things, or, stereotypes, or all these different things playing. And I just, again, thought I'm never going to find anyone. And I did. And that's amazing. So
I remember somebody way smarter than me, which is most people, said, I think it was about coming out, but I feel this way about having sex with a man for the first time, which was like, it was the first time I felt like I breathed deeply. Like I took a full breath. And I just remember thinking, oh, this is what sex is supposed to feel like. I felt like fully myself for the first time, which is crazy.
And so then how have you been able to bring this joy to other guys so that hopefully they aren't living in a closet of just over introspection and agony?
Yeah. Everyone's journey certainly is different. And for myself, when I was fortunate that there was, within the Twin Cities here, Minneapolis, St. Paul, there's a dad's group it's been around for decades. I think it started in the 1970s. That they meet monthly, and it's essentially dads that have come out, they have families, and they've accepted their sexuality and have moved on with life, or they're in that process. And so early on, met and found that group and joined and went to a few meetings, and it was very therapeutic in a sense of hearing. And it's a wide range, right? You have people in their 30s, 40s, up to 70s, and just hearing different stories. And it's also it can be depressing because some of them had just absolute horror stories, and even being decades out and having moved on their former spouse, and just a lot of conflict and just all the different things. And for myself, what I'm very grateful for is that the kids are all young. So the boys, being the ages they are, have been extremely adaptable, open-minded, and just moving on to a new family structure has been very, very gratifying and very exciting for all of us. And they've just been they love it. The oldest, the 9-year-old, it really struck me where him having two male figures or two dads in the household, he just thinks it's awesome. He realizes that's very special and very unique from other kids in the class. I think he has another student that has two moms or whatever. And he loves it. He sees it as like a badge of honor. And I was very worried about, are they going to be made fun of, or how are they going to accept this? And they're very excited. And it helps that Matt is a freaking all-star in terms of the kids just rag on him and love him. And he's a dad himself. He brought his son into the partnership as well.
So you have 3, he has 1, and that's how the family is together.
And was his from a previously straight marriage?
No, through marriage, but through surrogacy. So him and his former partner. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that is a new modern family for sure. And I'm so good. Well, real quick, the support group that you found, or the group of dads, that isn't a national chain of any kind, like
PFLAG
AA or something. And the reason I ask is, how do other people find what you found if they need it?
Exactly. And that's where I think, it's just local here to the metro. They meet in person and do different activities here in the area. And in thinking about what I went through and wanting to have that support for other people, I would love to start a nonprofit someday, or like you said, have a national, because if you think of different states or different areas, or even in rural parts of Minnesota, there's many people that don't get to have that support. And so they feel isolated, alone. And it's, yeah, as you can, all the things that you can imagine.
I can't imagine. You started out saying that you basically were running a corporation with your former wife and that you were a well-run business and whatnot. How on earth did the corporate, how did your role as CEO change? Like, how did you suddenly manage 3 boys entirely on your own? I imagine there was, you traded the kids back and forth, but that seems like a total mind fuck to me, is like going, you need that zone coverage and holy cow, you're solo.
Yeah. Well, in one way, it was very gratifying in terms of it really allowed me to step up and just have those partnerships and bonds with my sons. And I would say in marriage, I was a very involved dad. And we used to joke about other dads on the cul-de-sac or from the school, like they would be out golfing or doing whatever, God knows what, and just not involved around the house. And I always did the laundry. I did the cleaning because I'm a very type A person. And so the joke was that I would always do these. I did very non-traditional things of running the household, as well as being the sole breadwinner, or whatever you want to call it.
Dang.
And so, yeah, I was very busy. And the truth is, I didn't have hobbies. I didn't do anything. I just worked, and I was at the house taking care of the family and the kids. And that, honestly, I think was a piece too of where I was losing myself. And that is definitely a reality of it. And then stepping out and being able to function as an independent parent just with the boys myself, that really allowed me to start thinking of, how do I want to form traditions? How do I want to form different things with the boys? So an example would be at dinner time. We don't say a prayer like that. I know that's encouraged on the other side of like, you have to pray. And it's like, no, you don't have to do that. Instead, what we're going to do is you're going to tell me 3 things that you're grateful for from today.
Love that.
Oh, God. You're talking Gavin's language.
You are speaking my language. Yes, this is even better than your accent. I love the gratitude.
And the kids, the boys love it. And it's fantastic to hear. They're so creative. And I love that they have curiosity. And as a parent, that's one of my key things is I want the kids to have curiosity. I want them to have confidence. And so asking them questions, getting them to talk, getting them to think in a broader perspective is just so important. And that has been one of the most gratifying things, is being able to cultivate that. And then now with my partner, Matt, he's the same way. And so it's just fantastic, the bond and what we've been able to form as a family of the 6 of us.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I mean, I would be curious, because I see this with friends in my life, how much of your I'm just so busy to have any sort of hobbies was partially you protecting yourself because you knew the busier you were, the less you'd be thinking about sleeping with the neighborhood dads on the cul-de-sac. Do you know what I mean? Like there is a certain, like I have friends that I've seen growing up who are so busy. They work 15-hour days and blah, blah, blah. And I know it's because they're running from something. Maybe it's not their sexuality, but I would be curious how much of that was that. And we also do a similar thing at night where, and by the way, Gavin, I didn't tell you this, a friend of mine who actually listens to the podcast, which is really annoying, but he was like, oh, I started doing your high-low buffalo idea that we had as a dad hack many, many months ago. And it's like a hit. So now we do high-low buffalo, which for you, Mitch, is like every kid has to say a high of their day, something great that happened, a low, something that wasn't great, and then a buffalo, they just make up a lie. And it's the best game. And it gets them talking, which sometimes for my kids, I don't know if your kids are the same way, sometimes they just like, school is fine. They don't want to say anything more. I'm like, yeah, but what was your high? Mm-hmm. No.
When you were, how was the dating scene when you first figured out that you needed to go figure out your truth?
Yeah, you were fresh trade. I bet you were popular.
You must have been. Those shorts alone?
Yeah, shorts, fresh trade, you're on.
So that's the other crazy thing is sometimes life works out mysteriously, and it was everything exploded at once. So Matt and I met in a coffee shop essentially at the same time, came out to former spouse, my parents, and it was very complicated, and also not in the sense that I knew something matched and fit with him. At the time, initially, my former spouse and I were actually communicating, and when we first decided we were going to split, we were actually both very excited and both like talking about, okay, it's crazy to think about dating. How do you do that? And all these things. And we're very, like, I remember we went to a Chinese restaurant together and we're talking about it and like future plans. And it was very amicable initially. And I talked to her about Matt and just all the things. And this is one thing that I extremely appreciate from her was at that time, she had said, Mitch, I think people come into our lives for a reason. And he has clearly come into your life for this particular period of life. And you need to pursue this. And she essentially gave me the green light of yes. And so
that's generous.
I was very much
in all honesty, That's quite generous.
Also, she quoted Wicked. Can we talk about that? She quoted, "I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason." Sorry, continue.
Yeah. And so it was just I very much was like, I don't know, this isn't right. We need to focus on getting through the divorce or all this. And I'm very glad I didn't. And that was something early on both Matt and I talked about a lot is, should we wait or do the different things? And I'm very glad we didn't. And it was also very much a thing of where him and I were just compressed together and all these crazy things that were happening in life and spending a lot of time together and being able to experience that, and that our relationship solidified and just went very solid, very quick. We didn't screw around with dating of like, oh, we're going to meet for dinner, once a week or twice. It was like we were seeing each other daily and going through all.
And insert all the jokes here about how just intense it was from the get-go, which, hey, sometimes a lot of people probably would have given you the advice, whoa, you're stepping into something completely new. And yet at the same time, come on, stop overthinking it and just follow your passion. That's great. Good
well, and I appreciated from him too. He talked about, I want you to have the opportunity to date, and he did check-in questions of maybe you should go out and try dating and experience different people and all this. And for me, I did. And so I had very early on went on like 2 dates or whatever and just realized that, no, I don't need to look for anyone else. Like you are the person for me. And that has just the feeling of a soulmate or your person on this earth. Just over the past, year and a half has just so much solidified for us that it's it's indescribable.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of indescribable, can you tell us about one of those times when you realized, wow, I am really in the thick of it as a parent? You earned your merit badge and the shit hit the fan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the kids, so all 4 of them have great personalities, all very different. It's a lot to manage. One thing that we pride ourselves on as a household is we're very active. So always doing adventures outside, just we have to be moving. And about a year ago or so, we were on a family trip with my parents in Costa Rica. And my mom had it in her head that we're going to go on this horseback ride. So it was like a 2-hour horseback ride through the jungle up to these waterfalls. And the youngest at the time was only 3 years old. Oh, and he was very adamant that I'm going to have my own horse like a cowboy. Just like,
okay, big guy.
Like, no, you're not. And the guys, they were, he's just throw him on a horse. It's fine. And I spent that entire ride just because you're going through mud, you're going through rocks, up through the hills, and just terrified that he was going to fall off. And he was just there, like taking his hands off the saddle, going like this, and doing all the things and just loving it. And it was finally, I just got to the point of, all right, I just go for it. It's fine. And he did great.
Hey, all right. Well, you had prepped him for that up to that point. That's pretty amazing. I would have expected that story to end in disaster. Glad it didn't.
The fact, thinking about my 4-year-old daughter alone on a horse. I can think of nothing worse. But maybe I just need to let her do it.
I'm going to out Mitch here, though, because he did send me, as we have been corresponding and getting ready for this interview, he sent me a picture of a video of one of his kids riding a bike on basically like a small wooden boardwalk and it's, I don't know, I'm imagining it's maybe 6-8 inches off the ground. And can you imagine, David, you're watching your child in slow motion getting closer and closer to the edge. And then it's not the bike topples off, but rather just falls straight down. Kid falls on the boardwalk. Bike goes elsewhere. That was a video that Mitch sent me. And I know that there is occasionally the shit hitting the fan in that family too, no matter how adventurous they are.
Oh, for sure. Last week we were bike riding and I was up front and all of a sudden I hear this bam and turn around. My son had ridden into the back of a pickup truck, just right into the tailgate.
All right. And this is why we can't have children.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah. Mitch, you are an inspiration. I hope that you get that nonprofit founded and do fabulous things and come back and give us more updates down the line. But thank you for living your truth. It's fun to live truth alongside you. Ain't it great? So thank you for demeaning yourself by being on our stupid little podcast.
Yeah, thanks for chatting.
So I'm looking at our outline and for our something great, and they look like they might be the same. So I'm just going to start with my something great this week because mine says cats and yours says maybe cats. And I don't know what that means. So on Saturday of this week, or whenever, I don't know how this airs, but Saturday at some point in the world, I went and saw Cats the Jellicle Ball on Broadway. And my husband and I had wanted to see it. A lot of friends were like, oh, you should go see it. Now listen, Cats the Musical, longest running Broadway show of all time.
Meow.
Possibly one of the worst Broadway shows. It is stupid. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
The dancing is beautiful. The music is okay. Like, it just, I don't understand it. Nobody gets it. They're like, I don't know, a cat gets reborn and goes up in a tire. I don't get it.
Yeah.
So I have been hearing rumblings of this new production where it was set in a ballroom, like a drag ballroom. And I was like, okay, whatever. All my friends were like, you have to see this show. I was like, I guess, I don't know. We went and saw it. Gavin Lodge, and again, this might be your something great. It was one of the best, most ambitious, boldest things I've seen on Broadway in decades. Now, listen, the show is still the show. The show is still Cats, right? Yeah. But it was first of all, I have never seen an ensemble work harder in my life than this show. These motherfuckers were shablamming for their fucking lives. And somehow this story made perfect sense. Somehow them all competing and one gets chosen. It just all fucking made sense. It was a celebration of ballroom culture. The costuming was wild. The lighting was incredible. The actors were fucking fantastic. The room was wild. People had those big fans and were like clacking them left and right. It was so fun and so ambitious. I am devastated that it's closing a week from when this show airs. So you guys have 7 days from hearing my gorgeous voice. You have 7 days to get yourself to see the Jellicle Ball on Broadway. If you want, listen, it's still Cats. So there are moments where you're like, I don't need a 25-minute wrap up by fucking Deuteronomy at the end of the show. But like, it is so great. Run, don't walk. If you're looking for bold fucking the audacity of this company, go see Cats the Jellicle Ball. Gavin, what is yours?
My understanding about that show also is that I just want to double down on what you say, is that it deserved to win the Tony for Best Revival.
Yes.
Because it wasn't just, it was a reinvention of a show.
Total
and like
reimagining.
Like it or not, that is innovative theater that is worthy of respect.
Gavin is referring to, for those of you who are unsure, what are they talking about? Ragtime was also revived this year and won Best Revival.
Wonderful
Ragtime,
show, undoubtedly.
Inarguably one of the greatest musicals of all time. This revival is just the show again.
Restaging.
It's just the restaging of the show.
Yeah.
Cats the Jellicle Ball is like, what if we totally fucking reimagine this
Blow
from
it
top
up
to tails, but still did the show exactly as it is in the score. There was not a single word changed. Nothing was changed, but the reimagining, and I think that's what you're referring to, is that this was a revival.
Yeah.
Like a revival event.
Like it or not, you have to respect it, and it deserves to live on. And I'm sorry that I haven't seen it, but maybe with your prodding and abuse, I will fix that.
And tickets were not crazy, because we were going to go see Ragtime as well, and the cheapest ticket in the back was $400.
Wrong.
For Cats, we were middle orchestra to the side, and it was $124 a ticket. And so fucking worth it. Listen, even like, especially if you love like ballroom drag culture, like RuPaul's Drag Race, whatever that kind of stuff, these fucking queens are murdering their bodies for you. It was so fucking fantastic. I can't get over it. I can't get over how wonderful it was.
It's tragic.
Yeah.
Well, no, mine is very simple. Just that having cats. I am a dog person through and through and through and through, but I love having these cats in our house. But please, anybody and everybody, come find me to get cute little black and white cats, because they cannot live in our house forever. So as anticlimactic as my something great was, that is our show. If you have any comments, suggestions, or general compliments, you can email us at GaytriarchsPodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can DM us on Instagram. We are at GaytriarchsPodcast. On the internet, David is at David FM Vaughn everywhere, and Gavin is at Gavin Lodge on Mungo Jerry.
Please leave us a glowing 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts.
Thanks, and we'll oratorical cats you next time on another episode of Gaytriarchs.